Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're
Sounds good.
we're going to be cracking open
Okay.
some seriously insightful excerpts
All right.
from Paramahansa Yogananda's
Okay.
The Law of Success.
I'm familiar with that one.
Now we all want to be successful,
Of course. Yeah. Who doesn't?
but Yogananda, he kind of takes us
Right.
beyond just
Yeah.
getting that corner office or a bigger paycheck.
Yeah.
He's talking about a success that
Yes.
resonates from deep within,
I like that.
encompassing our spiritual well-being
Right.
as much as our
Yeah.
material accomplishments.
I see.
So buckle up,
Okay.
because we're about to uncover
Okay.
some pretty powerful principles that
Yeah.
could change the way you view success altogether.
I'm excited.
What?
What I find so fascinating about Yogananda
Yeah.
is that he doesn't shy away from tackling the root of the issue.
He doesn't just offer, like, superficial tips and tricks.
Right.
He dives straight into the power of our thoughts,
Yeah.
almost like they're the architects of our reality.
Okay.
And this isn't just some airy-fairy concept.
Right.
He's talking about the nitty-gritty
Yeah.
of how our habitual thought patterns,
Yeah.
those mental grooves we fall into day after day,
Right.
can either pave the way for success or sabotage our efforts completely.
You know, I've always struggled with those nagging negative thoughts.
Right.
The ones that tell you
Yeah.
like you're not good enough or that you're going to fail.
Yeah, those are the worst.
It's like they have a life of their own.
They really do.
But Yogananda, he doesn't just tell us to think positive, you know.
Right.
He actually provides a framework for understanding how these negative thoughts operate and, more importantly, how to break free from their grip.
I see.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He dives into specific types of negative thoughts, like dwelling on past mistakes or constantly worrying about the future.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
These are real success killers
Uh-huh.
because they keep us stuck in a cycle of fear and doubt.
Right.
He even suggests that constantly trying to force a solution through sheer mental effort
Okay.
can actually backfire.
Mm.
Instead, he advises us to kind of take a step back,
Right.
connect with our inner selves, and tap into a deeper well of wisdom and clarity.
Okay.
He calls it connecting with the divine will,
Right.
which might sound a bit mystical at first.
Right.
But think of it as accessing that intuitive part of yourself that knows what's truly best for you.
Okay, so it's about quieting the mental chatter.
Yeah.
And, like, tapping into a deeper source of wisdom within. But how do we actually do that?
Yeah.
And how does that translate into tangible success in our everyday lives?
Well, Yogananda provides a really practical roadmap for developing what he calls dynamic willpower, which is essentially about training our will to be a force for good, a tool for achieving not just our own goals, but also contributing to something larger than ourselves.
I see.
It's not about brute force,
Okay.
but conscious and deliberate action.
So it's not just about wishing for things to be different or even setting intentions.
Yeah.
It's about taking that next step, harnessing our willpower, and making those intentions a reality.
Precisely.
Right.
And he doesn't just leave us hanging with vague concepts. He outlines 3 specific steps to cultivate this dynamic willpower. The first is to tackle challenges we previously thought were impossible.
Okay.
It's about stepping outside our comfort zones,
Right.
pushing our boundaries, and proving to ourselves that we're capable of more than we thought.
I see.
He encourages us to start small,
Okay.
build confidence, and then gradually take on bigger and bolder challenges.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like training for a marathon.
Exactly.
You wouldn't just jump into running 26 miles on day one.
Yeah. You'd start with shorter distances, gradually increasing your stamina and endurance.
Exactly. And the second step is to...
The second step is to choose goals that are both constructive and achievable.
Okay.
This is where a lot of people trip up. They set their sights too high, get overwhelmed, and then give up before they even really get started. Yogananda encourages us to be realistic.
Okay.
To break down our big goals into smaller, more manageable steps. And to celebrate each milestone along the way.
So it's about setting ourselves up for success.
Exactly.
Creating a path that's challenging but not overwhelming, and then focusing our energy on taking one step at a time.
Exactly. And the third step is all about focus.
Okay.
He says we need to channel all of our energy and resources into one goal at a time. This is where it gets really challenging in our modern world with all the distractions and demands on our attention. But Yogananda is adamant about the importance of single-pointed focus.
It's like that saying, if you chase two rabbits, you'll catch neither.
Right.
Right.
And he even ties this concept of dynamic willpower back to the idea of destiny, suggesting that we're not just passive passengers in life, but active co-creators of our own reality.
Right.
He's saying that by aligning our desires with this greater purpose, this divine will, and then applying our focused willpower, we can shape our own destinies.
It's not about resigning ourselves to fate or...
It's about taking responsibility for our lives, making conscious choices, and then using our willpower to bring those choices to fruition.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
But here's the catch.
And
it's a big one.
It's a big one.
Yogananda warns against misusing this powerful tool. It's not about forcing our will on others or manipulating situations to our advantage. Dynamic willpower, he argues, is a force for good. A tool for building, create, and contributing to something larger than ourselves. So it's about aligning our willpower with our highest values, with our sense of purpose, and using it to create a positive impact in the world.
To create a positive impact.
Precisely. Now, here's where things get really interesting. Yogananda goes on to talk about the crippling effect of fear on our willpower.
I see.
He describes fear as a literal energy vampire.
That's a good way to put it.
Draining our vitality and leaving us feeling weak and defeated.
Totally.
You know, I definitely experienced that.
Oh, yeah.
When fear takes hold, it's like all your energy just dissipates.
It just goes away.
You feel paralyzed, unable to take action. It's almost like fear has
it's like a physical grip.
On you. Right.
Exactly.
And Yogananda, he doesn't just offer platitudes about facing your fears.
Right. He gives you a framework.
He provides a framework for understanding how fear operates. And, more importantly, how to transcend it.
I see.
He makes a distinction between...
So he talks about a wish.
An intention and true willpower.
And willpower.
A wish is passive. It's like daydreaming without taking action. An intention is a step further. A plan of action. But true willpower, he says, involves not just planning, but also the release of life energy, that vital force that propels us into action.
I see.
He uses a powerful analogy of two fighters to illustrate this. Fighter A throws a few punches, but he's exhausted. He gives up defeated. Fighter B, on the other hand, keeps going. Even when he's tired, even when he wants to quit. He summons that last bit of willpower, delivers that final decisive blow, and ultimately wins the fight.
I like that.
So it's not just about showing up or even having a good plan. It's about digging deep.
It's about that extra push.
Tapping into that reservoir of willpower and pushing through, even when it's tough, even when we want to give up.
Exactly. And Yogananda reminds us that fear will always be there, lurking in the shadows.
Absolutely.
Trying to hold us back. But we have a choice. We can succumb to it, letting it dictate our actions. Or we can choose to act in spite of it. To use our willpower to overcome those limitations and achieve our goals.
So it's about recognizing that fear is often an illusion, a mental barrier that we create for ourselves.
Precisely. And Yogananda provides a powerful tool for dismantling those barriers. A tool that's essential for anyone seeking true success. He calls it self-analysis, which is about taking a deep, honest look at ourselves, identifying our strengths and weaknesses, and understanding our true purpose in life.
It's so easy to
It really is.
go through life on autopilot, just reacting to circumstances, never really stopping to examine our own motives or beliefs. But Yogananda's saying that true success requires us to take a step back and really get to know ourselves.
Right. He believes that deep within each of us lies a spark of the divine.
Right.
A creative force that he calls initiative. It's that ability to take action, to create something new, to step outside our comfort zone and bring our ideas to life.
Right.
And he ties this concept of initiative to the idea of independence and success.
So it's not just about following the rules or waiting for someone to give us permission.
Right.
It's about
taking ownership.
Taking ownership of our lives.
Yes.
Daring to dream big and then taking the initiative to make those dreams a reality.
Exactly.
Right.
He's saying that true success isn't about waiting for opportunities to fall into our laps.
Yeah.
It's about
being
creating those opportunities.
Yeah.
About being proactive.
Right.
About taking that first step.
Right.
Even if it's a small one.
Right. So we've seen how Yogananda emphasizes the power of thought, the importance of dynamic willpower and conquering fear and the need for self-analysis and initiative. But it seems like all these concepts are interconnected. There's a common thread running through them. You're absolutely right. And that thread is the idea of aligning ourselves with a higher purpose. With what Yogananda calls divine will.
Divine will.
He's suggesting that when we tap into this higher power, when we align our actions with our true purpose, success becomes less about striving and struggling and more about flowing with the natural rhythm of the universe.
Exactly. So it's not about
forcing things?
Or trying to manipulate outcomes.
It's about surrender.
It's about surrendering to a greater wisdom.
And allowing ourselves to be guided towards... highest potential.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And this brings us to... another fascinating aspect of Yogananda's teachings.
Okay.
The power of habits.
The power of habits, yeah.
He says that our everyday habits, both good and bad, are like the building blocks of our lives. Good habits lay a solid foundation for success, while bad habits create cracks and instability.
They do.
Ultimately leading to unfavorable outcomes.
Yes.
It's so easy to underestimate the power of habits. We often think of them as these mundane, repetitive actions. But Yogananda is saying they hold the key to shaping our destiny.
Exactly. It's this constant internal battle.
Between our good and bad habits. The struggle between our lower self, driven by instant gratification, and our higher selves, aspiring to growth and fulfillment. He's reminding us that true freedom isn't just about doing whatever we want, whenever we want. It's about mastering ourselves.
Exactly.
About choosing to act in ways that align with our values and aspirations. Even when it's challenging. So cultivating good habits becomes an act of aligning ourselves
with our higher purpose.
With our spiritual aspirations.
It's about choosing to act in ways that support our growth and evolution.
Even if it requires effort and discipline. And this ties beautifully with his idea of seeing the divine in everyone. He encourages us to cultivate an unbiased mind.
To cultivate an unbiased mind. To see the image of God in every person we encounter. Regardless of their background. Beliefs or actions.
It's about transcending judgment. And recognizing the inherent worth and dignity
of every human being. That's a powerful concept.
It is.
Especially in today's world. Where it's so easy to get caught up in division and judgment. Yogananda's calling for a radical shift in perspective.
Right.
A move towards unity and compassion.
And he's suggesting that.
He is.
This shift in perspective, this willingness to see the divine spark.
To see the divine spark.
Within everyone is essential for achieving true success.
It is.
It's about recognizing that
we're
all interconnected.
That we're all interconnected.
That our actions impact others.
And
that by contributing to
the well-being of others,
we ultimately contribute to
our own success and happiness.
So it's not just about achieving our own individual goals, but about contributing to a greater good.
A greater good.
Creating a more harmonious and compassionate world. Exactly. And this leads us to one of Yogananda's most profound concepts.
One that ties everything together.
Calls
it aligning our will with divine will.
With
that universal force that governs the cosmos. Okay, now I'm intrigued.
Okay.
This sounds a bit mystical.
What
does it actually mean to align our will with divine will?
It's divine will.
And how does that translate into practical success in our everyday lives?
Well, imagine like a tiny boat being tossed about on a vast ocean. That boat represents our individual will.
Right.
And the ocean represents divine will. That infinite intelligence that pervades everything.
I see.
When we're trying to force our own way, relying solely on the limited understanding, we're like that boat being battered by the waves, struggling to stay afloat.
We end up exhausted.
Frustrated and often off course.
And off course.
Exactly. But when we surrender to divine will, it's like raising the sails and allowing the wind to carry us to our destination. We're still actively involved in the process. Steering the boat. Making adjustments. But we're not fighting against the natural flow of the universe.
We're trusting
that there's a greater power guiding us. A power that knows the best route. Even if we can't always see it. Okay, I'm starting to see how this could be incredibly powerful. But how do we actually tap into
so how do we divine will?
Tap into it.
How do we know?
Or
aligned with
if we're aligned.
Divine will, or just following our own whims and desires? Yogananda emphasizes the importance of self-analysis. Of taking a deep
purpose and intentions. He encourages us to ask ourselves, am I acting out of fear, ego, or a desire to control? Or am I acting from a place of love service and a desire to contribute to something greater than myself?
So it's about checking in with our inner compass. Making sure our actions are aligned with our highest values and aspirations.
Exactly. And when we're truly aligned with divine will, we'll often experience a sense of flow. A feeling of effortless ease, as if we're being guided and supported by a force greater than ourselves. It's like that feeling when you're completely absorbed in something you love, when time seems to disappear and you're just completely present in the moment.
Exactly. Yogananda calls this state of flow being in tune with God. It's a state of harmony, of alignment, of recognizing that we're part of something much larger than ourselves.
So it's not just about achieving our goals, but about enjoying the journey, about finding that sweet spot where our efforts align with our passion and purpose.
Precisely. And this brings us to another important aspect of Yogananda's teachings, the importance of perseverance. He reminds us that the path to success is rarely a straight line. There will be obstacles, setbacks, and moments when we feel like giving up.
I think we all have those moments of doubt, those times when we question ourselves and our abilities. It's easy to get discouraged and throw in the towel.
It is. But Yogananda encourages us to embrace those challenges as opportunities for growth. He uses the powerful analogy of the fighter who delivers that last punch. Even when he's exhausted and feels like he has nothing left to give, it's about digging deep, summoning that inner strength and refusing to give up on our dreams.
So it's not about avoiding failure at all costs, but about learning from our mistakes.
Yes.
Using them as fuel to propel us forward.
Exactly. And he reminds us that true success is not about achieving perfection, but about progress, about continually striving to become the best versions of ourselves.
You know, it's so easy to get caught up in comparing ourselves to others, feeling like we're not good enough or that we're not where we should be in life. But Yogananda seems to be suggesting that we need to let go of those comparisons and focus on our own unique path.
He actually addresses this directly. He says that we should never apologize for our work, even if it seems humble or insignificant in the eyes of the world. It's about recognizing that every role is important. Every task has its place in the grand scheme of things. It's about doing our part, fulfilling our unique purpose without needing to justify our contributions or seek validation from others.
So it's about finding fulfillment in the work itself, knowing that we're making a difference. Even if it's not always visible or glamorous.
Exactly. And he reminds us that as long as we're working to please God, to align our efforts with divine will, we'll receive the support and blessings we need to succeed.
There's a real sense of empowerment in that. He's saying you have a unique role to play, a unique contribution to make. And when you embrace that fully, you tap into a source of power and guidance that will help you succeed.
And this ties back to his emphasis on self-analysis, on understanding our strengths and weaknesses, and aligning our efforts with our true purpose. It's about knowing ourselves deeply, and then acting in accordance with that knowledge, trusting that we're in the right place doing the right work.
It's almost like a spiritual version of finding your flow. That feeling of being fully immersed in what you're doing where time seems to disappear and you're just completely engaged in the present moment.
Yes, exactly. And he's saying that when we find that flow, when we're aligned with our true purpose and working in harmony with cosmic laws, we unlock a level of success that goes beyond material achievement. It's a sense of fulfillment, of inner peace, of knowing that we're living in alignment with our highest potential.
It's like all the pieces of the puzzle are falling into place, and we're experiencing a sense of harmony and purpose that transcends the ups and downs of everyday life.
Precisely. Now, here's another crucial point that Yogananda emphasizes. One that's especially challenging in today's fast-paced, multitasking world. He says that we need to focus our energy on one thing at a time, avoiding the tendency to scatter our energies in a million different directions.
You know, it's so easy to get caught up in that whirlwind of activity, constantly juggling multiple projects and demands on our attention. But Yogananda is suggesting that true success requires a different approach.
It does.
A more focused and deliberate approach.
He actually compares scattered energy to a leaky bucket. If we're constantly trying to fill multiple buckets with holes in them, we'll never be able to retain the water. The energy needed to achieve our goals.
Well, it's not about working harder or longer, but about working smarter. About channeling our energy strategically and effectively.
Exactly. And he suggests that this focus, this ability to direct our mental energy with laser-like precision, is what allows us to tap into the creative power of the universe. It's about harnessing the power of our minds to manifest our desires. To bring our dreams into reality.
He uses a beautiful analogy of a pearl diver who plunges deep into the ocean to find the most precious pearls. He's saying that we need to go deep within ourselves, access that inner reservoir of wisdom and creativity, and then bring those treasures to the surface.
And he reminds us that this process requires effort, discipline, and a willingness to go beyond the superficial level. It's about committing to the inner work, to the practice of meditation, to the cultivation of a positive mindset, and to the unwavering belief in our own potential.
So it's not just about wishing for success or setting vague intentions, but about doing the inner work required to create the conditions for success to manifest. It's about cultivating the right mindset, the right habits, the right alignment with divine will.
Precisely. It's about recognizing that success is an inside-out phenomenon. We don't attract success by chasing it in the external world. We create the conditions for success to flourish within ourselves, and then it naturally manifests in our outer lives.
It's like that saying, as within, so without. Our inner world shapes our outer world.
Exactly. And Yogananda emphasizes the importance of maintaining a positive mental attitude, even when facing challenges. He reminds us that we have a choice in how we respond to circumstances. We can choose to dwell in negativity, fear, and worry. Or we can choose to cultivate a more positive and hopeful outlook.
It's so easy to get caught up in that negativity bias, focusing on what's wrong, what's missing, what could go wrong.
It is.
But Yogananda is suggesting that we have the power to shift our perspective.
We do.
To choose to see the good, to focus on solutions, and to cultivate a sense of gratitude for the blessings in our lives.
And to even go so far as to say that it is blessedness for yourself and others if you are happy.
Wow.
He's suggesting that our happiness isn't just a personal matter,
right,
but actually has a ripple effect on those around us.
That's a really powerful concept. It's like our happiness is contagious.
It is.
That it can uplift and inspire others, creating a more positive and harmonious environment.
Exactly. And he's not suggesting that we should pretend to be happy or deny difficult emotions. It's about recognizing that true happiness is an inner state. A choice we make to focus on the good, to cultivate gratitude, and to align ourselves with that which brings us joy and fulfillment.
It's about choosing to see the glass half full, to find the silver lining in every cloud, and to focus on the possibilities rather than the limitations.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And he suggests that this shift in perspective, this commitment to cultivating happiness, is essential for achieving true success.
So it's not selfish to prioritize our own happiness. In fact, it's actually a contribution to the world.
It is.
When we're happy, we radiate a positive energy that uplifts others, inspires them, and creates a more harmonious environment.
Exactly. And he even suggests that to be happy is to be in tune with God.
Okay.
He's saying that when we're aligned with our true nature, with our divine essence, happiness flows naturally.
It's like we're tapping into a source of joy that's independent of external circumstances.
Yeah.
A happiness that arises from within and radiates outward.
And Yogananda emphasizes that this connection, this happiness, this alignment with divine will, is accessible to everyone through the practice of meditation.
But it's not some mystical state reserved for saints or gurus.
No.
It's a practical skill we can all develop through consistent effort and practice.
And here's another powerful concept that Yogananda introduces.
Okay.
He says that God doesn't punish or reward us
in
the traditional sense. Instead, we create our own rewards or punishments through the choices we make, the thoughts we cultivate, and the actions we take.
That's a really empowering concept. It's like we're the authors of our own destiny.
It is.
Shaping our reality through our thoughts, words, and actions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he's saying that when we align our will with divine will, and we make choices that are in harmony with cosmic laws, we naturally attract the rewards of happiness and success.
It's like we're creating a positive feedback loop. Where our positive thoughts and actions generate more positive experiences, leading to a virtuous cycle of growth and fulfillment.
Yeah, precisely. And he cautions us against falling into the trap of making unhappiness a chronic habit. It's so easy to get caught up in complaining, focusing on what's wrong, and dwelling in negativity.
It's like those mental grooves we were talking about earlier.
Right.
The more we indulge in negative thoughts and behaviors, the deeper those grooves become, making it harder to break free.
And Yogananda challenges us to break those patterns. To make a conscious choice to cultivate happiness, to focus on the good, to appreciate the blessings in our lives, and to find joy in the present moment.
So it's not about denying the challenges or pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing to focus on the positive, to cultivate a sense of gratitude, and to find the good in every situation.
He's suggesting that this shift in perspective, this commitment to cultivating happiness, is essential for achieving true success.
So it's not just about achieving our goals, but about enjoying the journey, about finding fulfillment in the process, and about radiating that happiness outward to create a more positive and harmonious world.
And this brings us to the heart of Yogananda's teachings on success. It's about aligning ourselves with a higher purpose, with divine will, and allowing success to flow naturally from that alignment. It's about recognizing that true success is not something we chase or force, but something we cultivate within ourselves, a state of being that radiates outward and attracts the blessings of the universe.
It's a beautiful vision, a reminder that true success is not just about what we achieve in the world, but about who we become in the process.
Precisely. And Yogananda reminds us that this journey of self-discovery, of inner transformation, and of alignment with divine will is available to everyone who seeks it.
It's a message of hope, empowerment, and the boundless potential that lies within each of us.
It is. But before we move on to the practical applications of these principles,
Okay.
I think it's important to pause and reflect on what we've learned so far. We've explored the power of thought, the importance of dynamic willpower, the need for self-analysis and initiative, and the transformative power of aligning our will with the divine.
We've delved into Yogananda's profound teachings on the nature of true success, a success that goes beyond material achievement to encompass inner peace fulfillment and a harmonious relationship with the universe. We've seen how he emphasizes the importance of meditation, of cultivating happiness, and of aligning our actions with our highest purpose.
Right.
And I think one of the most powerful takeaways is this idea that true success is not something that happens to us.
It isn't.
But something we create. It's an inside-out phenomenon.
It is.
A reflection of our inner state of being.
And that's a really empowering message because it means that we have the power to shape our own destiny, to create a life that aligns with our deepest values and aspirations.
It's about taking responsibility for our thoughts, our actions, and our choices, knowing that each one is a brushstroke in the masterpiece of our lives.
And Yogananda reminds us that we're not alone in this journey.
Yeah.
We have access to divine guidance, to the support of a loving universe, and to the wisdom of those who have walked this path before us.
It's a message of hope and possibility, an invitation to tap into our limitless potential and create a life of true fulfillment, purpose, and meaning. But I think we need to ground these concepts in some practical examples.
Okay.
How do these principles actually play out in the real world? How can we take these profound ideas and apply them to our everyday lives?
That's a great question. And in the next part of our deep dive, we'll explore some of the practical applications of Yogananda's teachings, offering concrete tools and strategies that can help us bring these principles to life and create a more fulfilling and successful life.
We've been exploring some pretty profound concepts from the power of thought to aligning ourselves with divine will, but I'm curious how these ideas translate into tangible action. It's one thing to talk about aligning ourselves with cosmic laws, but how do we actually apply that in our everyday lives?
You know, that's a great question. And I think Yogananda offers some really practical tools for bridging that gap between the spiritual and the practical. He emphasizes that we're not meant to live in some kind of detached, ethereal realm. Spirituality for him is about bringing those divine principles into the nitty-gritty of our everyday lives, into our work, our relationships, and our interactions with the world.
So it's not about escaping from the world, but about transforming the world, bringing those higher ideals into every aspect of our lives.
Exactly. He reminds us that we're not just spiritual beings having a human experience, but also human beings capable of expressing those spiritual qualities in tangible ways. And one of the most practical ways we can do this is through our work.
Okay, now we're getting to the good stuff. I think a lot of people struggle with finding meaning and purpose in their work. They feel stuck in jobs that drain their energy and leave them feeling unfulfilled. What does Yogananda have to say about that?
He offers a really refreshing perspective on work. He sees work not as a burden or a necessary evil, but as an opportunity to express our creativity, to serve others, and to contribute to the greater good. He even goes so far as to say that work can be a form of worship, a way of channeling our energy towards a higher purpose.
I love that. It's like reframing work as a form of service, a way of expressing our unique talents and gifts to make a positive impact in the world.
Precisely. And he emphasizes that it's not about the type of work we do, but about the attitude we bring to it. He encourages us to approach our work with enthusiasm, dedication, and a willingness to go the extra mile.
So it's not about finding the perfect job, but about finding a way to infuse our current work with meaning and purpose, even if it's not our ideal situation.
Exactly. He reminds us that every job, every task has its own inherent dignity and value. And by approaching our work with that mindset, we not only elevate the work itself, but also cultivate a sense of inner fulfillment and satisfaction.
You know, it's so easy to get caught up in that hustle culture mentality, constantly striving for more, always feeling like we're not doing enough. But Yogananda seems to be suggesting a different approach, one that's more focused on quality over quantity, on inner fulfillment over external validation.
Right. He's reminding us that true success is not about how much we do or how much money we make, but about how we live, how we contribute, and how we align our actions with our highest purpose. He encourages us to find joy in the process, to celebrate our accomplishments, and to cultivate a sense of gratitude for the opportunity to work and to serve.
That's a beautiful perspective. It's about shifting our focus from the outcome to the process, from the destination to the journey, and finding fulfillment in each step along the way.
Now, another practical area where Yogananda's teachings really shine is in the realm of relationships. He emphasizes the importance of cultivating harmonious relationships built on a foundation of love, respect, and understanding.
You know, relationships can be one of the most challenging and rewarding aspects of life. They can bring us immense joy and also trigger our deepest wounds. What insights does Yogananda offer for navigating these complex dynamics?
He reminds us that every relationship is an opportunity for growth, a chance to learn to evolve, and to practice the principles of love, compassion, and forgiveness. He encourages us to see the divine spark within everyone we encounter, to treat others with kindness and respect, and to approach conflicts with a spirit of understanding and reconciliation.
So it's about shifting our perspective from seeing relationships as transactions or battles for control to seeing them as opportunities for spiritual growth and deepening connection.
Exactly. He encourages us to let go of judgment, to practice empathy, and to cultivate a genuine desire to understand the other person's point of view. And he reminds us that forgiveness is not about condoning wrong behavior, but about releasing ourselves from the burden of resentment and anger.
It's about choosing to see the best in others, even when they're showing us their worst.
And he offers some really practical tips for improving our relationships. He encourages us to practice active listening, to express our needs and desires clearly, and to be willing to compromise. He also emphasizes the importance of spending quality time with loved ones, nurturing those connections through shared experiences and meaningful conversations.
It's like we're being reminded that relationships require effort, attention, and a willingness to show up fully and authentically.
And he offers a powerful reminder that we don't have to change others to experience more fulfilling relationships. The real transformation happens within ourselves. When we change our attitudes, our beliefs, and our behaviors, our relationships naturally begin to reflect that shift.
So it's not about trying to control others or force them to conform to our expectations. It's about focusing on our own growth and allowing that positive energy to radiate outward, influencing our interactions with others.
Exactly. And this brings us back to that central theme of aligning ourselves with divine will. Yogananda reminds us that when we surrender our ego's desire to control, when we trust in a higher power, and when we allow love and compassion to guide our actions, our relationships naturally become more harmonious and fulfilling.
So it's about letting go of that need to be right, to have the last word to win every argument. It's about choosing love over ego, understanding over judgment, and connection over isolation.
Precisely. And he reminds us that true love is not possessive or demanding. It's about allowing others the freedom to be themselves, to make their own choices, and to grow at their own pace.
That's a beautiful vision of love, one that's based on acceptance, respect, and a deep appreciation for the uniqueness of each individual.
Now, before we wrap up our deep dive into Yogananda's The Law of Success, I want to touch on one more practical application of his teachings, one that's especially relevant in our modern world. He emphasizes the importance of maintaining balance in our lives, of creating a rhythm that supports our physical, mental, and spiritual well-being.
You know, it's so easy to get caught up in that go, go, go mentality, always pushing ourselves, always striving for more. But Yogananda seems to be suggesting that true success requires a more holistic approach, one that prioritizes our overall well-being.
Exactly. He reminds us that we're not machines. We need time for rest, for rejuvenation, for connection with nature, and for spiritual practices that nourish our souls. He encourages us to create a daily routine that supports our well-being, incorporating practices like meditation, yoga, spending time in nature, and engaging in activities that bring us joy and fulfillment.
So it's about finding that sweet spot between effort and ease, between pushing ourselves to grow and allowing ourselves to rest and recharge.
He reminds us that true success is not about burning ourselves out, but about creating a sustainable lifestyle that supports our long-term health, happiness, and fulfillment.
It's like we're being reminded that we can't pour from an empty cup. We need to take care of ourselves to replenish our energy, to nourish our minds and bodies so we can show up fully in all areas of our lives.
Precisely. And Yogananda emphasizes that this balance, this harmony between our inner and outer worlds, is essential for achieving true success. It's about creating a life that's not just productive, but also joyful, meaningful, and aligned with our highest purpose.
So it's not about sacrificing our well-being in pursuit of success, but about creating a life that supports our overall flourishing, a life that's rich with purpose, connection, and joy.
Exactly. And that's the essence of Yogananda's message. He's inviting us to redefine success, to move beyond the limitations of our ego's desires and embrace a vision that encompasses our entire being, a vision that aligns with the universal laws of love, harmony, and abundance.
Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground here, from the power of thought to the importance of dynamic willpower, from conquering fear to aligning our will with the divine. We've explored how these principles can be applied in our work, our relationships, and our overall approach to life.
And I think the key takeaway is that true success is not something that happens to us, but something we create through our choices, our actions, and our unwavering commitment to aligning ourselves with our highest purpose.
It's about recognizing that we have the power to shape our own destiny, to create a life that's not only successful in the traditional sense, but also deeply fulfilling, meaningful, and aligned with the deepest truths of our being.
And Yogananda reminds us that this journey of self-discovery, of inner transformation, and of alignment with divine will is available to everyone who seeks it. It's a path of unfolding potential, of expanding awareness, and of creating a life that reflects the boundless love, wisdom, and power that reside within each of us.
And as we wrap up this deep dive into Yogananda's The Law of Success, I want to leave you with one of his most inspiring quotes. He writes, "The season of failure is the best time for sowing the seeds of success."
So if you're facing challenges, setbacks, or moments of doubt, remember that these are not signs of defeat, but rather opportunities for growth, for learning, and for planting the seeds of a brighter future.
Keep those words close to your heart. Embrace the challenges, learn from your mistakes, and never give up on your dreams. Remember that true success is not a destination, but a journey, a process of continual unfolding, and the rewards are far greater than you can imagine.
May this deep dive inspire you to embark on your own journey of self-discovery, to tap into the power that resides within you, and to create a life that reflects your highest potential.
Until next time, keep diving deep and keep seeking that which brings you true joy, fulfillment, and lasting success.
Did you get any of that?